Okay, folks, this is section 4.4, adding integers. Take 4. This is the 4th time that I've recorded this example. Okay? Now, make sure that you've got down opposites are numbers that are the same distance from 0. Remember, we talked about absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from 0. Opposites have the same absolute value, right? Okay. Now, Koulis, you're the one who brought this up. And I told you I was of two minds about this, that I couldn't decide whether or not that I wanted to do it this way. I think it's the easiest way. Okay? You should never have two signs right next to each other. If you do, we need to clean that up. Okay? That needs to be swept up and thrown away. You should only have one sign between two numbers. Okay? If I have plus a positive, what does that turn into? What is plus a positive? I don't need two signs. What does that mean? Like 3 plus positive 1. That's the same as what, Gray? 3 plus 1, right? Okay. Now, if I have 3 minus negative 1, you see I've got two signs together again. I don't want that. What is minus a negative? What do those two negatives next to each other do? Koulis?
They turn into a plus sign.
They do. They turn into a plus sign, and that's 3 plus 1. So the rule that you can remember is, if they're the same, it's positive. Okay? If the two signs are different, 3 plus negative 1, that's the same as just 3 minus 1. If they're different, the sign's negative. 3 minus positive 1. If they're different, the sign is negative. Okay? Allison, does that make sense?
Well, yes, but what happens if it's like negative 3 plus
Okay.
negative 1?
Okay, we'll get there. Now let's look. We've got one kind of like that for our first example, Allison. Okay? For our first example, do you see that I've got these two signs right next to each other? I don't like the two signs next to each other. I need to clean that up. Now, Allison, if they are different from each other, what do they turn into?
Negative.
A negative. So I've got negative 2 minus 3. But Allison, now this is what's going to blow your mind. Okay, you ready? I don't think about this right here as a minus sign, as a subtraction. I don't do that. Here's what I think about. I am always just combining these two numbers. I've got negative 2 and negative 3. And when I combine two negatives with three negatives, what do I get?
You get 5.
I get
Negative.
5 negatives. Right? Now watch. Now hang on. Hang on. Just as easy. 6 negatives, 8 positives. Which one do I have more of, Isabel? I have more positives. How many more positives? I have 2 more positives. Done. That's it. Let's go over here. Cedar, how many negatives do I have?
1. Or 3.
I have 3 negatives. How many positives do I have?
3.
What happens between the positives and negatives?
They become the negative.
No.
I mean,
What happens, Casey, between the positives and the negatives? They cancel each other out. What am I left with? 0. Exactly. Exactly. Perfect. Easy. Does that make it easy? Or what? Let's do this. Let me just, these were simple little 4th grade problems. Let's do this. Negative 121.7. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to have time on this video. That's okay. You know what we're going to do? The second example, I'm going to start with this, and then we'll go to the second. Okay? All right. Let me go ahead and stop this, and we'll start the next example.